as of right now, we are starting to record. So good morning. This is All Things Professional, where we talk about issues in our business and we help each other out. And through that, we get to network, learn a little bit about each other's business, and establish relationships. And one of the things that I really want to encourage is to have people, if you're not friends online, go ahead and friend each other's online and have some private chat messages and follow up with each other and continue the conversation. So what we usually do is we do our 60-second introductions and talk a little bit about what you do, what your business is, who your clients are. And this morning, I'd like to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, your frustration with tech troubles within the past couple of weeks. So that's probably a trick question. And then later we're going to talk about specific tech troubles and what we do about that. So who would like to start? All right, Elena, you're on the left-hand side of my screen and you're first. You want to talk first?
Sure. I don't have tech troubles because I'm a techie. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I help people with tech troubles, but my name's Elena Stifler. I'm with ADS Coaching and Mentoring, and I'm sure you hear the big ferocious dog in the back. If I pulled back a little bit, you'd see how big this ferocious dog is. She's still a puppy. She's 6 months old. But I help people discover their why. I help them create their own brand, and I also help them get out of their own comfort zone. A lot of people get stuck in a comfort zone. They don't know who their inner circle is. They're always seeking help, but a lot of it stems back to they're not connecting with the right people that's inside their inner circle. They don't know how to create their own brand, and they don't know how to discover their why. So every day they jump from job to job, passion to passion, idea to idea, but they don't seem to implement a whole lot that they're doing. So ideally, that's what I do. I come in, I'm that brick wall that they can bounce ideas off of. And I help them overcome their fears and their challenges and discover new ideas on how they can make changes in their business. Elena Stifler, ADS Coaching and Mentoring.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We'll be picking your technical brain.
Oh, you're welcome to.
Okay, Tatiana. You're up.
Hello, I'm Tatiana. I am with doTERRA. We are an essential oils company, basically helping you in getting rid of toxins in your family and using essential oils for your overall health and family wellness. Tech troubles, I'm kind of a techie, so I don't really have a whole lot of issues. Every now and again, you get an email that bounces back, but other than that, I'm pretty well versed in all platforms. So
Good. Another techie on board. All right. Joe, you're up. Joe?
So you have to hit the unmute button.
Hi, my name is Joe Krause, owner of Firedock Entertainment. If I did. Can you hear me?
We're having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking up or something.
She was having technical problems.
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
That's much better.
Okay. Sorry, it's the cell phone headset. So I am Joe. I'm the owner of Firedog Entertainment. We're a full-service DJ entertainment company catering to brides and pretty much anyone looking to have DJs. We also have photo booths, do lighting design. So we are pretty much surrounded by tech. Me and my other DJs, we actually do tech stuff for our full-time jobs during the day as well. So we're also pretty much all things technical.
And Joe, when you say that you're doing all this stuff technical, do you mean, for your industry or outside of that too? We lost you again. Can't hear you.
I'm an Active Directory engineer, so I run computers, networks, systems all day. I do Active Directory, so I work with networking systems and pretty much do stuff all day. And outside with my industry, my company, we're always looking as far as technology goes, ways we can streamline our setups. You know, whether it's going to wireless video for projections, wireless controlling for our lighting. So we pretty much embrace technology from a DJ standpoint.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay, great. Seema, are you with us here?
I am.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of in my jammies, so no, I'm not going to do video. Good morning. I am Seema Button with Mary Kay. And actually, Joe, I'm sending you a PM because I'm excited to connect with you. I'm actually working on a possible fashion show for a charity project, and I'm looking for a DJ. So I'll be hitting send after I'm done talking. So anyway, I've been with Mary Kay for 10 years. I can't believe it, almost 10 years. 10 years in July. And my perfect client is right now, really honestly, somebody who's willing to give me an open and honest opinion about their skincare line versus mine. Just really need to work on being back in the field and doing my presentation again. I've been working, but with the kids and stuff, less, not as go-getter as I used to be. And so I'm looking to reignite my business. So at this point, it doesn't matter if they're interested in buying anything. I really just need people to try it and give me an honest opinion. And then as far as tech troubles, I'm fairly techie. My husband's more techie than me, so most of mine get resolved pretty quickly. But I hear your frustration. Just recently, my wireless mouse decided it did not want to do what I wanted to do. And it was so frustrating because I hate my touchpad. I'm not nearly as fast or productive with it. So you wanted resolution. Well, my husband actually happened to have a little smaller one for his laptop. He's letting me use it for right now. And then my cell phone is, you mentioned that too in the text somewhere, does die very quickly. So I like carry my charger with me and all that sort of thing. We're looking to upgrade soon is hopefully our resolution, but that we're not up until like April, I think. So I'm trying to hang on.
Gotcha. Okay, Debbie.
Okay, I'm your friendly neighborhood Shaklee representative. And Shaklee is the #1 all-natural food supplement company in the country, and we help people with their health nutritionally. Because if you don't feed yourselves, you're not doing your body justice. We have everything from laundry detergent to dishwasher detergent to non-toxic cleaners to get that out of your environment. And then we have our nutritional supplementation that we can guarantee that you feel better in 30 days or your money back. My tech issues are, I think I'm just getting old. You know, it used to be I was really good at this stuff, but it changes so fast now. It's so hard to keep up with everything. And so I resort to, you know, calling the kid to say, hey, honey, can you help me out here? Mm-hmm. And I just feel like an idiot, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Is there anything in particular? Well, we can get into specifics after because I hear you on the, let me call my kids.
Yeah, and I think I need to talk to Elena about my why, because I don't know that I've ever really identified it properly. So that might be something to get together on.
Excellent.
Well, I would love to help you with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Marie, do you want to type us some tech problems? I don't know how fast you can type. While you're, if you want to do that, I'm going to go over to Joel and we'll talk to him. You don't have any tech problems that you can think of. Okay. You just don't have a microphone. That's only, that's easily rectified. Okay, Joel, what do you think? What's going on?
Joel Andrews. I own Jumpin' Productions, and we do videos, specializing in athletic recruiting videos, but also memory videos, and really any type of videos that you would like, VHS to digital as well. And we do live broadcasts of sporting events throughout Prince William County. No real technical issues, as I've been in IT for the past 15 years when I have a real full-time job. And really my only technical issues going forward are Eventually, I know I'm going to have to switch from Windows to Mac. It's something I don't want to do, but I think I have to do here in the next year or so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how familiar are you with Mac right now?
Probably about 1%.
Okay.
I've always stayed away from it, but I know I need to go that way because with video and editing and things like that, it's more Mac-based, iPhone-based than Windows and Android, and it's going to continue that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The transition's actually pretty easy, Joel. I did it probably at the end of the summer last year, and it was really easy. Now, I was familiar with Mac, which made a difference, but if you use an iPhone, you'll smooth right into it.
No, I'm an Android user too.
Okay. Well, it's not that bad. It really and truly isn't, because a lot of the software is the same that you use for a PC.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I've done.
I assume it's much like going from Windows 7 to Windows 10. It's just a new interface and different ways of doing things. So
Yes.
it's just making that switch that I'll have to do, and I'll have to buy additional equipment and so forth and software. But
It is. I've done both, and I've gone back and forth between both, and I'm back on the Windows, but only because Apple products and I don't seem to get along very well. They seem to break, but that's a whole new Apple problem, not a me problem. But they're pretty seamless. I mean, like if you use Photoshop, it's the same across the board. So
Exactly.
but,
Same with
you can even
Microsoft,
get,
with
yeah,
Office.
you can even get Microsoft Office on Apple, which is pretty, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catherine, could I jump in here for Marie's benefit here since she doesn't have audio?
Of course.
Well, Marie is your neighborhood insurance agent. And if you haven't had your car home insurance reviewed in like the last 5 years, she's your girl. Because if she can't save you money, she'll be happy to tell you so and not sell you on stuff that you don't want or need, but make sure that you're covered for what you do need. So I just felt like she was, since she couldn't really get in here and audio things.
She says correct.
And I've heard some great testimonials on Marie. So if you're in the market, definitely check out what she can offer you.
Yeah, she is wonderful. She's done our policies. And Marie, I really need to get back to you about my daughter who needs her own policy. I haven't had her in one place to get all that information that you need, but it's coming. Because my husband is freaking because my 18-year-old daughter really needs to be on her own insurance. So good morning. I'm Catherine Gotthard, All Things Writing, and we do content development and content marketing. So we write website copy, social media, blogs. We also do things like press releases and social media profiles, that kind of thing, all things writing. And my level of frustration with technology in particular this week has been really pretty sky high. Part of it, I don't know if you came in on that beginning of the conversation, was the actual, the language that the techies use, and I have no clue what they're saying, which of course makes you feel ignorant. And you really have to be proactive about saying, I have no clue what you're talking about. And I think that's in any industry, people have their particular language that they speak, and, we need to figure out a way how to communicate between industries. I have cell phone problems that just make me crazy. Like a GPS that kept going out as I was driving. GPS not found. GPS not, and that's the only thing it kept telling me the whole way. So those are my issues. So I guess the first thing, then I'm going to turn this around because we do have technical people here this morning. So the first thing I want to know is how, when you're working with a business that is non-technical and they are having technical difficulties, how do you address that? So for instance, I found it ironic. So here I am, I'm inviting people to come to a Zoom meeting and saying, what are your tech troubles? Now, guaranteed we have people that have tech troubles, and so they're not on Zoom this morning. So, how do you work with people who are having tech troubles? Because, obviously technology is just so crucial to everything that we do.
Well, it's only good when it works. It's only good when it works properly. I know like a lot of people I've had, they're like, oh, well, for some reason my emails aren't going through. And I'm like, but it worked yesterday, but it didn't work today. And it's like, well, is it going through on your computer or is it your phone? And like now mine's freezing. Sometimes it figures it, I've had a lot of people that are like, well, it's not going through on my phone because they recently going through an update and they didn't know about it or they didn't update their app. So they're trying to email through their phone and they're not currently up to date when the system switched over. And so that's what I've seen with, I've had a lot of clients go like, I don't know why it's not going to you. And I'm like, well, odds are, you need to, when somebody's like, please, when you email a company and they're like, please add me to your email list. They're not saying that for their health. They're saying that because if you add them to your list, you are going to be in their email. You're not going to, their stuff is going to get kicked to their spam box. And a lot of people really don't understand the email portion. And I use that with quotations because a lot of people don't really quite understand email very well either.
My question for that is, because it's easy to lose communication that way or to actually miss clients that way. So how do you overcome that so that the lack of communication doesn't cause an interruption in business?
Telephone.
Okay.
If their email isn't working,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? Let's go old school. Let's go back to the phone way of doing it.
How do you find out that their email's not working though?
Most of the time I find out by the fact that my emails are getting kicked back for some reason. And if I get a kickback, I'm real quick to be like, hey, I just want to let you know, I did try and respond back, but your email is kicking back for an unknown reason. It might be due to something on their end or my end, but I wanted to follow up and let you know that I did receive it. Here is what I told you in an email, in a voicemail, or, to them. And most of the time I'll have clients, if they can't get to me via email, they'll text me to let me know that they tried to email me. Mm-hmm. So, I always tell everybody, email, phone, text. They can do all three across the board. I'm like, hey, if you send me an email and you didn't feel like that maybe conveyed, call me, text me, just do all three lines of communication instead of one, because one normally breaks down sometimes.
Sure. So I think, my concern would be like if somebody goes to your website and for some reason their email's not working and you never hear from them and they never hear back. And so they think, oh, she's unresponsive.
Yeah, I've had that happen. But some people, see with my system, I go through WordPress. And I don't know, those of you who might use a WordPress-based site, I use WordPress, and then as a former photographer, I also use ProPhoto. So people have to put in an email and a phone number. Mm-hmm. And I automatically see it. Even if they typed in their email wrong, I still see it. Mm-hmm. So I still have a phone to reach out to them too.
Great.
So even if they think it went through and I know that email is going to, I've had people type in Gmail wrong or Yahoo wrong, but the rest of it's correct. And if you go to hit reply, it's not going to go through, which is why I always, I hop on before I send them back an email. I call them first and then follow up with the email. I'm like, I'd just like to verify your email just so I can send you what we just talked about in an email form. Mm-hmm. And to verify whatever they sent me. Is this the right number to contact you, and put them down as that? And also know if I can text them through that number too, just in case.
Great. So it sounds like you definitely have to have multiple channels because we can't depend on one particular form of technology.
And if you're concerned about giving out your personal number, if you don't have a business line, Google Voice is a great way to get a number it goes directly to your cell phone, but it is not your actual personal number. And it is a really great way to, have a number out there, but not really have your number out there. Mm-hmm. And I know you can still verify with Facebook and all that too, as long as your Google Voice number is on whatever website you're currently using. So
that's great. Great. Has anyone else run into that where there was a communication breakdown, or, you find out 6 months later when you run into somebody at a networking meeting, oh, how come you never responded to me? No one's ever had that?
No, honestly, I haven't.
Wow. Okay. That's good. That's a good thing. or unless it's happened and you don't know.
Well, true.
Many
So,
times, I mean, it's picking up the phone. If you don't hear back from somebody, just pick up the phone. A lot of times, like people will send me email, and I may not have the time to respond to the email at that time because I'm not interested in their service. So I put it aside. But if they pick up that phone and call me, I'm more apt to talk to them because I knew that I had that email, or the next time that I see them, I'll say to them, hey, I'm sorry I didn't respond to your email. I don't need your service at this time, but I'll definitely keep you in mind. Let's sit down and have lunch, or let's just chat sometime so I can find out more about you. Because I'm about building the relationships, not necessarily about answering that email because you're selling me a product right at that moment.
See, for me, we're kind of on the opposite end as a DJ, because it's people that are looking specifically for our services, but we have a narrow window of opportunity to reply. And unfortunately, with my daytime job, I don't have the ability to have my phone with me at all times. So I have systems in place that, no matter where I am, whether it's through email, through our booking software or our contact software, we'll get messages pretty much anywhere. As Tatiana, Google Voice has been a lifesaver, because call and leave a message, I have it in my email, and I'll walk out and make a quick phone call. So that's definitely helped us. But technology-wise, as DJs, we have the potential to constantly be plagued by technical problems. And I've known hundreds of DJs that, especially when they switched to Windows 10, were in the middle of events and their system is rebooted because they got updates. So, that's another thing too, is, what are your backup plans in that service kind of industry? So.
yeah, can you talk to us a little bit about Google Voice? Because I'm sure not everybody is using Google Voice. Explain that, what that is and how it works.
You want me
Google
to?
Voice, that's fine.
I don't know. No, go ahead. Feel free.
So Google Voice, essentially, if you have like a Gmail account, you can sign up for a free phone number, and then you can essentially port it. So our Google Voice number is everywhere. It's on our business cards. It's on our website. It's essentially the frontline contact for us. When somebody calls that number, it automatically forwards and rings to my phone, and it shows up as that voice number. So when I see that particular 571 number, like, oh, someone's calling my company line. If I don't catch it, then they leave a message. It gets transcribed, and then you'll get an email, so you can listen to the voicemail through your email or go to your phone with the Google Voice app, listen to the voicemail. It's just, it's a easier and a free way to have people contact you without actually using your primary phone or having to buy a business line. For me, it's worked wonders.
That's fabulous, because like one thing is I still have my office line is my landline, which is just obnoxious, and it is expensive to go and switch that to a corporate account. So that might be a good way around it. Of course.
For me, because if I see a number I don't recognize, I can choose whether or not to answer it. But if I see that 571 number, it's like, oh, someone's calling my business. Let me answer.
And you can text through that too. You have the option to text people through that number, so they don't have your personal line, so you don't have to text. When I was doing photography, a lot of my clients were like, oh, I just had my baby. And it's like, oh, you can text my number to let me know. Don't call me at 2:00 in the morning to tell me you had your kid.
Right.
I'm sleeping. And so that works out great too. It is a free service. And you do get to choose your number, which is good.
Well, that's cool. So I could actually shut down my landline completely and have the same phone number. Is that correct?
Yes, you can. You can actually get rid of your landline. You don't need, all you need is a cell phone.
That's cool.
That's all you need. So it just, because it reroutes through your cell phone. And even, so if you have your Gmail up all the time, I have my email up all the time, and I'll randomly hear, and I'm like, oh, it rings through my computer too. So I can actually pick up the call while sitting on my laptop if I've got like headphones in or something like I'm doing now.
Mhm.
And I can actually have an entire phone conversation while still working and not actually using my cell phone too. So
That
it
is very
routes through your
useful.
Gmail.
Who else is using, what did you call it, Gmail phone?
It's Google Voice.
Google Voice. Who else is using Google Voice? Anybody?
I have one. I don't use it as frequently because my phone service that I have in my home, when I was with Verizon, I had a smart ring, which is what I used on my phone. And I still have that number. I've been using that for about 13 years
Mhm.
since we've moved here. And prior to that, I had the same thing down when we lived in Hampton Roads. Now I switched to Comcast Business and found that I could have the same amount of numbers in my house, because I have 4 phone numbers in my house.
Mhm.
And 2 of them are business numbers. One's a fax number, and one is our home number, because where we live, our self-service is ridiculous. But I find that it costs the same price as it did going through Verizon, and we have high-speed internet with it. So what I do is I forward my home number, my business number, to my cell phone.
Mhm.
And that way I control those calls that come in, because if you're getting that text all the time, I have a little bit more flexibility as I can return that call. I'm not in the business where somebody needs me right at that moment. So I have that flexibility, but I find for me, forwarding to my cell phone works just as well, because then I have their number automatically when they're calling.
You can
And-
set hours on Google Voice to where people
Yes.
can only contact you between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. You can have it to where between certain hours nobody can text you. You know, I have mine to where between the hours of 9 and 4, I can accept calls. After that, it automatically just gets forwarded right to my email. And then I have an app set on my phone, or something set on my phone to where, do not respond thing. So it just turns off everything unless you're an emergency contact. So I don't, I'll see it the next morning, but I'm like, business hours are business hours. Target doesn't answer at 10 o'clock at night. Why am I,
That's right.
And I agree with that. You have to have those limitations of when you're going to take your calls. I know for me, just to add an extra number with Google Voice to my repertoire of phone numbers as it just wasn't effective, because I've already been in business for like 19 years. So I was able to keep my numbers moving from Hampton Roads up to here. And so I have it. Do I use it? No,
Mhm.
but it works.
Mhm.
It's a good service. I recommend people to use it if they're not established, if they're fairly new coming in, that they do have a free phone number.
Yeah, I used to use it. At one point, I had a call list that I was paying for, and I used it a lot for that. I don't even know what my number is anymore, because I didn't use it very long. Honestly, because of the relationship business, a lot of my stuff just went through, and I probably should have a business number, but I just use my actual cell phone. So.
Great. Anybody else are using it?
My only other issue with Google Voice is the recording that people hear saying that it is a Google Voice number. Let me locate. Sorry.
you can change that. You can change that. Mine just says, hi, you've reached Tatiana. I'm unable to come to the phone right now. That's it. Mine just has a, hold on, we're trying to find her for a moment,
That's
just
good
like
to
when you
know.
call a doctor's office, it's like, hold on, press 1 for, whoever, and 2 for line 5, and, same thing.
Nice. Nice option.
Yeah, you can actually upgrade. Google Voice is free. You can pay for the upgrades later if you want, but you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you get grandfathered in because you've been there for so long, they
Great.
get those features too.
Great. Okay, so that's another option for keeping in touch with people. Who is anybody here using? Somebody is dinging me here. Hold on one second. Is anybody here using an interface, like a MailChimp or a Zoho or a CMS or Infusionsoft to keep in touch with their customers? And how is it working out for you?
I love MailChimp. I love it.
Okay, what do you use it for?
Newsletters. I send out a monthly newsletter twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I can auto set it up and it just pops right out to everybody. And then I like that I can track it from both my phone. I have the app on my phone so I can follow who's opening it, how many times they've opened it. And I have one lady who opened my last one like 37 times in 24 hours. And I'm like, you know what? I got in touch with her. I'm like, hey, I was just looking at our newsletter and I saw that you have been eyeing some of our, new releases. I just wanted to touch base with you and see if you had any questions. And she's putting it in order because I reached out to her. So all because I can track her opening.
That is a fabulous way to use it to get conversions.
You stalk your client,
There you go. Yes. Anybody else using MailChimp or anything like that?
Use
MailChimp's awesome.
What's that, Joe?
I use Aweber.
Okay, and how does that work?
Same thing as MailChimp. We just have pre-formulated templates for our leads list that come out. So we'll put them into there and we'll just email out our offers and stuff because when we get bridal leads lists, it's just our best way to communicate in bulk because they're looking for our services or something else and then they can easily unsubscribe if.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And are any of you using an opt-in form? So, you go to your website, opt into my newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
And how is that working? I mean, do you think that attracts people or are you more getting these organically?
More of mine are organic than actually through my website. I mean, I have it up there, but honestly, I mean, mine pops up after they contact me. There's their ability to opt in. But I would say of all the people who contact me, maybe 25% opt in. But the moment they automatically contact me, they get tossed onto that list regardless. So, like it's in the disclaimer that once you contact me, you're automatically on the list. So,
sure.
For me, a lot of that stuff is automated through the Mary Kay website. I don't use MailChimp because like my clients have registered on the Mary Kay website and they've opted in or out there. So I don't want to have multiple avenues. I will occasionally send them just a regular email because I want to send a graphic, which I can't do through the Mary Kay website. But I have to be careful because they have chosen to opt in or out. And so I need to find, I need to be able to respect that. And so if I added another mail service in there, that would get really hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know like with ours, with doTERRA, they'll automatically get like the doTERRA newsletter, but I don't personally, I mean, I was a professional photographer, so I'm used to doing my own spread and I didn't like theirs. I didn't feel it was really, personally, I was like, that's not really professional. I don't like that at all. So I do my own because I also put in my own promos. I normally put in like a quote of the month and like a little helpful tidbit on how to keep the Christmas lights from being tangled up in storage, like
I do that, but the Mary Kay one looks really professional and they have an e-card that's internally in their system. So in a normal situation, I usually use theirs. But if I need to send a graphic, like I have a special cute graphic for a sale or whatever, that I will send normal email. I just have to be careful because I have people that are opted in and I will actually choose to do that or opted out. But I'll actually, and I'll get their email even if they're opted out when I export them. So it's just, I have to be careful when I personally go back and forth.
I mean, I found just like when I was sending a regular email out with a graphic in it, because I wasn't able to track it, a lot of it would, because of the large graphic, it would actually get kicked to client spam, which is why I went with MailChimp because it had a higher success rate of reaching their inbox and them actually opening it than sending it directly via an email. And I hate doing mass emails, like, sending the same thing to everybody. So you either send 50 personalized emails or you can send out a newsletter, and it had a higher success rate. So
that's good to know. I may consider that in the future.
That was my next question is what happens when your newsletter gets kicked over to people's spam box? I mean, is anyone aware of when that happens? And
yes. MailChimp actually tells you if somebody has marked it as spam, and then they ask you whether you want to remove, like it doesn't tell you the first time, but after the second time of it doing it, it tells you that it's going to their spam box. Would you like to remove this client, or would you like to contact them?
Mm-hmm.
Let them know that it might be going to their spam. And I always contact them first. If they're like, oh, I accidentally marked it as spam, I've done that. I've clicked on something on my phone and it's gotten tossed to spam. I'm like, crap, I didn't mean to do that. And you've had to go and hunt it back down the next time because you can't undo it, unfortunately. And
Anybody else doing that? Checking to make sure that their stuff's actually going through? Oh. And a hush fell over the crowd.
I check daily because I'm a nerd like that.
Good for you. Good. That's great.
It's part of my morning routine. It's my coffee, my email, checking statistics, watching who's on Facebook, what time they're on Facebook, checking every technical aspect. Because if you don't know where your client is and you don't know what they're doing, you can't market to them.
Well, oh, that's interesting. You actually look at what time they're on Facebook.
Yeah, you check. You can check. It's in your
insights.
Yeah, it's in your insights. You can check, see what it is, see what posts are trending,
Mm-hmm.
and what things have a better grasp with your clients. That way, you know how you can tailor things. It's like, oh well, I posted something about my dog. Obviously, nobody gives a crap about my dog, so we're not going to post about the dog anymore. We're going to do something else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that the more personal stuff I put up there, the less interaction I had. So I keep my business page solely business.
Anybody else stalking their clients? No? Okay, maybe we all need to stalk a little bit more. If you go to you go into your insights under your Facebook.
Amazon stalks you. Look at when you guys, I don't know if anyone's ever done this. When you go on Amazon, you look at something, then you're back on Facebook, and it's like in your feed, and you're like, oh, this is creepy. They're using their analytics, and they are literally stalking you, putting that product back in front of your face, and you're like, I've done it. They've got me. I've been like, you're right. I have to buy it. Thank you. You know, I just couldn't take seeing the ad 100 times in a day, so I bought something.
Right.
They stalked me. You know,
Facebook stalks you.
Facebook stalks me.
I do a different kind of stalking. I actually, a lot of my clients, I end up friending on Facebook, and I interact with them socially and build the relationship. So I prefer that to the analytics, the way my business works.
Joe, what were you saying? I didn't quite hear you.
I was saying it's some websites will actually stalk you based on your device. So I know Home Depot got accused of, if you were searching for an item, one item was priced higher if you came in from an Apple device as opposed to an Android or a Windows device.
Mm. Who's using Google Analytics on their websites? Elena, yes, you're nodding.
Yeah.
I use it. I don't use it. So it's there, but I'm not using it because that's not where I gain my traffic of business from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Debbie, anybody else using Google? Well, I don't know, Marie or Joel, you using Google Analytics?
I use it on my broadcasts. I don't use it on my webpage yet.
Okay.
If you
My page gives me some pretty good information, but nothing too definitive.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who are using Google Analytics, how are you using that information to translate it into conversions?
I like knowing where my people are coming from. It's hard to market if you don't know where they're coming from or what they're, so like I'll even tailor it to where if I've noticed somebody's going to a specific link for a specific product, then maybe I should run a sale on that product if I see a higher trend from that item.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I should do a spotlight of that item because obviously people are gravitating towards that section or that either, you know, item or whatever it could be. And so I use it to do a lot of that. And then it doesn't really track like names or IP address. I mean, you can. I think that's a little creepy, but
yeah, that is.
That's crossing the line for me. But my website and my Facebook, everything's all really intertwined for me. So it's easy to pull a platform from one section to the other because they post back and forth to each other. So.
Yeah, you know, one of the kind of frustrations that I have, because what we do is we'll write blogs for people and we'll post it for them on their websites. And that's, that's great. But when they don't have Google Analytics, it is nearly impossible to tell who is reading what, when they're reading what, and what information is, is really working. And the other issue is for folks who have not optimized their website, so they're not running SEO. And when they're not running SEO and you're doing, your blogs, everything is organic, and it's a lot more difficult to get the word out there about your blog. So I'm going to kind of throw that out there. If you have your own website, even if you're, if you've got some low-end SEO going, something, that is allowing the traffic to come in besides shooting out the, your blogs and your articles through social media is going to be really helpful. I'm getting feedback or something. What am I hearing?
Sorry, my husband is this is what happens when he's off work for like 6 weeks. He's driving me nuts. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. I have no clue what he's up there doing, but he's driving me nuts.
Sounds like he's playing an instrument or something.
I don't know what he's doing. I give up. I wish he'd just go back to work. He's killing me.
Who here is running SEO on their websites? Of course you are, Tatiana. Of course you are, Elena. Joe?
Not yet, working on it.
Working on it. Seema, you probably have some running automatically on your corporate site. Marie, I'm assuming the same thing.
Corporates
Noel,
normally
you
do.
do an SEO at all?
Yeah, and if we do, I don't even know if I have access to that info. It might just be them doing it. I really don't know.
No, you won't have access to that. That will be the company based only. They will not share that.
Yeah.
Just because they're personally tracking it. If you have your own separate site, then you can, like a blog, you could do it, but under their main thing, it's just due to their protection and their copyright laws. So they're not going to toss that out.
Oh, okay. So Maria's saying that she doesn't know she has SEO. Okay, I don't even get what those words mean. Okay, so this is so funny because this is my translation problem with and I'm not even techie. So SEO is search engine optimization, and it is the way that Google is able to find you based on the keywords that are programmed into your website. You could also do some through your blogs. And you might want to find out if your corporate site is already running SEO, and are you part of that SEO? I mean, is your name optimized? So if people are looking for an agent, when they're looking for people, or they're looking in a particular area, something called local SEO, which is very important to have. So your insurance, Northern Virginia. Okay, I'm looking at so one thing you learned is to make sure that we upload pictures. I save them as our name. They just come up higher in Google, yes.
Yes, don't save them under a number. Save them under your company name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you can, make sure you add your copyright and the year to it. I don't know if anybody knows this, but pilfering an image off of Google or whatever is a $2,500 fine per image that you have.
Yes.
And that is enforceable. It is something, trust me, as a photographer, I have gone after people for it, and you make some good money off of some of these. They pay up quick because they do not want that. It is a federal offense. So
yeah, copyright laws are serious.
Yes.
If you're going to use images, make sure you're going to something that's an open source. If you're not buying stock photos, make sure you're going to use free Unsplash or freeimages.com or something, but read your copyrights. Don't just be pulling images from Google.
Not even from Google. Be aware of pulling them even from your own company website. So I don't know if you could do them from Mary Kay, or from even from doTERRA. A photographer took them. Even though they were contracted by doTERRA, they still maintain that copyright law. So I can't just download something from their site. It's still illegal.
You do need to know one way or the other, because in Mary Kay, they have ones for us to use on purpose.
Yeah, we have a back office.
Right. There are digital images that we are supposed to use. Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that don't know that, and they just go, download, and you're like,
So. Yeah, and Marie's asking about quotes, using quotations, and obviously we use quotations all the time, but you do definitely need to cite your sources. You need to link back to the original source, and
yes, don't use the picture that the quote came with. You can use the quote, just put it on your own picture.
Right.
Problem
right.
solved.
Yeah, and public domain, Wikipedia and things like that. But even if it is Wikipedia, I'll link back to Wikipedia.
Be careful. Anybody can edit a Wikipedia thing, so that's not a.
Yeah, it's not an academic source by any stretch.
I get on
The same thing with music too.
What's that, Joe?
The same thing with music. Facebook now has metrics that I'd be able to identify copyrighted material. So if you have any videos that have copyrighted music, will block it. Facebook doesn't want to pay the licensing agencies to be able to broadcast those music. YouTube, you can still link your videos from YouTube through Facebook. We'll just make sure you, once again, credit any artist or music, but that's going to be a stickier situation as well.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do a Facebook Live video with music on in the background. Just a heads up, they will automatically pull it. And they will actually put a 24-hour hold on you from doing another Facebook Live video.
Ah.
Yeah, I have somebody who figured that out the hard way. And if you do it more than once, they will lock you out for 14 days. So,
wow.
Yes, they are not.
I didn't know that one either.
Well, it's pretty annoying to try and hear a video with music in the background, especially if it's not your flavor of music.
Well, some people do it. They're like, here, let me show you how to make a hot chocolate. And they don't want to talk about it. They just want to show the video of it. And you're like, that's all fine and dandy, but really, like, I didn't want to hear Christmas music in July right now.
Right.
Well, for us as DJs, that's the biggest thing, is because a lot of DJs will show clips from receptions. And there's copyrighted music in the background. And so a lot of those are now getting blocked, and people are like, well, what? So they're now posting them in YouTube and linking to YouTube videos because it's not as likely to be blocked. So.
Yeah, the copyright is very interesting, and you've got to be careful about it. And, if all else fails, I would say, there's so many sources out there. You could either go and you could, ask the author and get permission, or you could just move on and get something that's a little bit more accessible and open sourced. In terms of linking to other sites, has anyone ever had an issue where you've linked to another site and then you go back and maybe the site is coming up as an unsafe site? And how do you keep track of that?
I don't link to other sites just because you don't know.
Yeah, well,
for that very reason, I don't link to other.
Yeah, we need to in our business, obviously, because we're doing content and things like that. But I've had that issue where I've linked to other sites, and then people come back and say, hey, I clicked this link, and you know what? It says that that's an unsafe site. But at the time that you do the link, it doesn't come up as an unsafe site.
No, it may not come up on your end as an unsafe site. I think it may depend on what antivirus they're running. So like I run Kaspersky, and Kaspersky catches everything, and it stopped me from going on Amazon. It's like, this is an unsafe site. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Probably shouldn't be spending money today.
Yeah.
So.
I've had that where, it was my computer and it tells me it's an unsafe site, which is a site that I visit all the time, and I know that it's perfectly fine. So I think you're right. It has to do with your computer and your antivirus and what you're running, because like I said, a lot of times I'm like, that's such BS, and I go through it anyway. So I don't know how to fix that except for them like changing a setting in their antivirus, if it's something that.
Even running a virus scan, it's not necessarily a virus scan. It's just that somebody may have flagged the site with your antivirus software company saying it's spam, because they may have gotten an email from it and they're like, oh, this is spam, and they flag it as a spam site. So that even though it may be a completely legit site, if people go through and flag something, it will automatically come up in your personal, whatever antivirus software you're using. So it's it may not even have a virus. It just is the fact that people can flag it and report it for no.
Yeah, I have my Mary Kay emails end up in people's spam folders because of that. Because somebody at Comcast marks their personal beauty consultant as spam, and it'll do it company-wide. They'll usually eventually fix it, but it does happen.
Yeah, like mine doesn't, like my own doTERRA site. It comes up as spam for an unknown reason. So it may not be, just go through and check your, in your settings on your antivirus software, you can normally see what sites have come up as a red flag. You can select them and click always allow. And you'll stop that. So you may have to, if you have somebody who keeps saying this is popping up as spam, you may have to tell them that there might be something in their antivirus software that they're going to have to fix. That you trust the site, but that it might be their antivirus software just due to a glitch.
But two, always check your spam folders, because I had for a while had a couple of clients that their responses to my email always ended up in spam. So I had to go through and put Google filters, put their email address saying always accept them, because I wouldn't see them for a couple weeks because I didn't do it regularly. And so my poor clients never got an answer because it was in my spam folder. So I do check it more regularly now too, but make sure you check your own spam filters too.
Have you ever thought about creating a folder for each client?
No, my Gmail's a mess. I need to do something with it. So over 300 clients. I don't know if I want over 300 folders. So
I have it. It's kind of annoying, but I break them down by like by month almost. So it's like, oh, these are January's inquiries, and I'll move them around as I need to, or I'll change their tags on it. But I found that nobody goes to my spam, or I don't go to other people's spams for some reason if I have them organized.
Okay. I think my Gmail's a mess, so I got to do something. So I'll definitely think about that as I go through.
Joe, I'm looking at you, and you look like you were.
Joe has a question.
No, I was asking if we're talking email, if we're talking websites in general, because, for emails, it depends if you're accessing it through now Edge, or if you're accessing it through, Internet Explorer or Firefox. But, websites too, coming up as dangerous content. It could also be, the site security certificates could be expiring, or it could be a host of other things. So there's a difference between what you get from an email standpoint as opposed to a website standpoint.
Sure. And there are email organizers out there that will help you do, Seema, that you will, I think I can look it up for, but I think it's called maybe Sandbox. It'll help you organize.
Oh, my husband uses it and had recommended it before. I think when he's on Christmas break, I think we're going to sit down and fix my Gmail.
Yeah.
Gmail drives me crazy the way that it cascades everything. I just find it very, just too easy to lose things.
You can turn that feature off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can turn that feature off. You can customize Gmail to almost anything. Sorry, my messy house. My dog groomer just showed up, so I'm like multitasking here. Yeah,
Tatiana's all over the place this morning.
Dude, I am. My husband's apparently he's steam cleaning. That's what he's doing up there. So I'm multitasking.
So I just want to remind you, this call is being recorded for quality assurance. We are going to play it for the people that couldn't attend today.
Welcome to my crazy life, people.
Yeah, my video's off because you guys didn't need to see like the random diaper change and all that kind of stuff that was going on. So, yeah.
Right. I can't turn mine off, or I would.
Joel, did you have anything to add?
I was just enjoying the conversations.
You were just enjoying the conversations. Yeah, I know. It's sometimes it's a little over the map because the tech troubles can just run from just a range of things. And my husband's always laughing at me with my hardware problems. Attaching the headphones, and why won't this headphone work? I'm the type of person that if I plug it in, I just want it to work, and that's just not how life is, unfortunately.
That's okay. My husband laughs at me because, like I said, I am fairly techie, but for some reason, my tech always goes wrong. Like, we have the same exact phone. His phone charges just fine. Mine does not. And that happens on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it makes me crazy. I just had to actually, my phone wasn't charging. I had to take out the battery and put it back in. Does anybody know what that means? Does that mean my battery's dying? It wouldn't charge, took out the battery, put it back in, and now it charges.
Wow, no clue on that one.
Battery. However, if you are not using the brand specific cords, charging cords for your phones, that can create battery problems for charging.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, if it's not brand specific, it may say good for Apple, good for a Droid, But if it's not brand specific, you're going to create problems within your phone charging and the battery, and it will not last as long as it's supposed to.
So, okay, so like these all say they're for Android, but how would I get it? Do you have to do it for the actual model? Is that how that works?
Well, not for the model, for the brand. So you want to go to either Best Buy or even Walmart. They have that brand specific Samsung. Get it specifically that it's designed for Samsung. Don't get a generic cord. Those generic cords are not A, they're not meant to last. That's why they're so cheap. B, the quality of the wires that they're using inside are horrible. And it can burn up your phone. It can also reduce the battery life overall.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to remove your battery, take an eraser and then clean the charging, oh gosh, where it touches, where the battery touches. Okay, I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. But you take an eraser, a gum eraser is best, or you can just use like the red eraser that on the tip of a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
Use that and clean those terminals, those battery charging terminals. And when you do that, sometimes they'll get dirty, and do it on the battery as well. But 9 times out of 10, it's the cord that you're using. Yes, you're going to pay $30 for your cord. You may even pay $40 for your cord, but you're getting good quality materials that are supposed to be used specifically for that battery and for that phone. Those cheaper cords, Five Below, they'll ruin your phone. It shortens the life of your phones. So even the same with your iPods, anything that you have, go with the brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's well worth it.
That's really good advice. I appreciate that, because that was another frustration, walking around a convention with a phone that keeps dying.
Well, it's the cord itself. If there's even the slightest short in that Five Below cord that you bought, that's going to create where it's not getting a full charge. Your phone's going to show that you're getting a full charge, but you're really not.
Yeah, it's got the little icon that says it's charging. It comes back, it's like 3%. Like,
yes. Well, and it's usually the quality of the cord. I mean, look at it. I mean, if you look at the thickness of even the cord, you'll find there's such a vast difference. And because we've always used brand cords, we've been able to keep our phones much longer. We didn't have to replace our phones every 2 and 3 years. Sometimes our phone would go 5 and 6 years before I'd have to actually replace it.
That's great.
And if we use the cheap cords, I'd have to replace that phone in less than 2 years. We had problems. I was calling the company. I need you to replace my phone. And I've been a BlackBerry user. I've not been a Samsung user. My husband was. His phone actually lasted longer than we couldn't even do any more updates on it. And it's because I've always used brand cords on everything. And we were advised to do that when I was still way back into a public relations office, when they were just coming out with cell phones. And we were told back then, do not use anything that is not a brand cord. And companies, they're going to charge you more. Like Apple will definitely charge you more for that cord, but the longevity of the phone is going to be so much longer, and the quality that you're getting. You'll find that you don't have to charge your phone as often by using that brand cord.
Well, I appreciate that information.
You're welcome.
Really, really useful. As far as my GPS problem, that's another story.
If we're due for an upgrade, I'll keep that in mind. And if my hubby doesn't know, I'll tell him. I have a feeling he probably does, but maybe I'll surprise him and know something he doesn't.
Right. Okay, so 10:12. We started a little late, so ended a little late, but that's fine. If you are local to the Gainesville, Virginia area, tomorrow morning at IHOP at 8 o'clock, we have something called Network Stars, and it's industry specific, but I think we have openings for most people here. So that's a really good meeting. There's usually about 20 people, 25 people there. Sorry, Marie, I know we do have an insurance agent in that company. In that Wednesday morning, Select Business Network, also in Gainesville, and that is industry specific. Do we have insurance? We have insurance, yes. Sorry, Marie. We actually do have video also. We don't have the rest of you guys, so that's a good option also. If you're in the Prince William Chamber, there's an 8 o'clock B2B meeting on Wednesday mornings. 8:30 in the Hilton Center in Manassas. There's 1 Million Cups, and that is an interesting forum. People get up and talk about challenges they're having in their business, and the attendees actually, give advice and talk about what works for them, which is nice. Thursday morning, Prince William Professional Networkers meets at 7:30 in the morning at IHOP in Manassas. And if anyone wants invitations to these meetings, go ahead and send me a private message. I'd be happy to have you as a guest, even if there is someone there that is in the same industry. Bang Business Alliance Network Group meets Wednesday afternoons at noon to 1:30. And where are we meeting for Bang, Marie? It says somewhere in Centerville, Virginia. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing that means that they're going to be changing their location. Okay, and there's a pro group that is meeting on Thursdays from 8 to 9:30 at Ground Central Station. That's in Old Town Manassas. Elena says you've got a group that meets every Wednesday morning in Fredericksburg at the Salem Church Library. That's 9 to 10:30. Elena, is that industry specific?
No.
Exclusive seats? No. Okay, great.
No, we're an open group. We have no attendance policy. We do not have exclusive seats. It is training, networking. We teach people how to network, and we also give a training or a roundtable during the group. And also, we ask for a $4 donation because we do give back to the community in different ways. Just this past month, we gave money for postage, $275 towards postage for Blue Star Moms to send boxes to the troops overseas.
That's wonderful. Great.
And there's also another group, it's called Free NI. It meets on Tuesday in Stafford from 11:30 to 1 at, I want to say, Vinny or Mix. I'd have to double check that. And then the other one meets on Thursdays at Castiglia's in Fredericksburg from 11:30 to 1. That's a free group, not seat exclusive either. Anybody's welcome to come. It's sitting down and having lunch and networking.
That's excellent. Great. Yeah, Virginia, you can network. You can network all day long, all night long.
But networking can put you out of business.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Watch your budget, watch your time, and find out, what works for you. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for coming today. I appreciate it, and glad we got through our own little tech glitches. All things considered, I don't think that went too bad. And next week we will meet at the same time. We will meet at the same station. Different link. So everyone have a great day, have a great Monday, and be productive.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.